Things you should never tell your child, especially between the ages of 12 and 21. Today on the I Am the Possible podcast, we're going to be talking about the three things that you should never tell your child in that very vulnerable, cognitive, developing age and stage of their lives. As a parent of 26 years, one thing that I've learned is that we have incredible access, unbelievable access into the lives of our children. I think as parents, we sometimes underestimate the access that we have and our ability to steer, motivate, inspire, guide, lead, and sometimes undermine the progress of our child. So today, if you are a parent of a preteen, teen, or young adult child, and you've been struggling with maybe communicating, connecting, advising, giving them guidance, connecting with them, communicating with them, the relationship is a little strained. I just want to share with you three things that I have learned in my own personal experience of raising four adult children that has really blessed, strengthened, fortified my ability to connect, to communicate, and to have a healthy, nurturing relationship with them in a way that continues to push them, encourage them, inspire them to be everything that God created them to be. So, if that's you, I want you to lean in because I'm about to share three things that I believe you should never, ever say. And the last one is going to be pretty shocking because it's going to go against everything you think you should do as a parent. So, let me first start off by saying that as parents, our desire, our intention is to guide, help develop, nurture our child in the best way possible. We have a great intention, but sometimes, even as my coach once taught me, even our good intentions can create some horrible outcomes. He said it a different way, but I'm going to keep it PG for today. Sometimes, even our greatest intentions, if we're not careful, can create some horrible outcomes. Now, with that in mind, I want to just reinforce the idea, the fact that we have such influence in our child's life. We're the first caregivers. We're the first, as I like to say, within the home. We're the first classroom. We're the first church. We're their first community. We get to model before them behaviors, thought patterns, verbal patterns. They get to observe us first. They see what we do first. We become the template. We become the example. We become the model of life, right? And they will more than likely mimic whatever we model. You guys know my framework for leadership and parenting. Go first, be first, do it first. If you want them to do it, you do it first. If you want them to say it, you say it first. And so there's so much to understand and to really appreciate about the fact that in your position as a parent, being in the home, being who your child sees and runs into and does life with the most, a lot of the way that you come across, the way that you show up is going to, without you even trying, you're going to influence and you're going to invest in a lot of their personality, a lot of their future decisions, the decisions that they make. And that's really the point that I wanted to share really quickly before I get into the three things that I think you should never tell them. Um, is that so many times in my own personal life, right, after raising four adult children, we have conversations, whether we're out and about, we're at a restaurant, maybe it's Father's Day, Mother's Day, or just a weekend, and the kids come up or come over, and we're hanging out and we're just reminiscing, having conversations about the past when they were kids. Sometimes we break out the old pictures and we go through the pictures and, we just reminisce. We just talk about the old times, right? When they were coming up, we laugh and we joke and we just have a great time. But it never fails. At some point in that conversation, at some point, whether it's, just a family cookout or something like that, just casual talk, at some point they're going to say, "Hey, remember when you said," or "Hey, you said when I was so, such and such age, you said this, and I forgot all about it. I didn't even realize half the time that I even said these things." But it doesn't matter that I remembered it. What matters is they remembered it. Whether I said it with intention and with purpose, or whether I just casually said it, when they were coming up as a child, they heard the things that dad said and they remembered it. And they went on to make decisions based upon the things that I said, whether I was conscious and intentional about it or not. So I just wanted to remind you to be careful with what you say on a regular basis, because they're listening, they're observing. And many times you don't know what's going to hit, what's going to land, what's going to stick. But if we're more intentional, if we're just more careful as parents about the things that we're allowing to come out of our mouths, about the things that we're allowing ourselves to communicate both verbally and non-verbally, we're going to do a much better job at leading our children. Remember, parenting is a form of leadership, right? They're all in the ship called the home, the domestic space, the domain, right? Called your home. We're all in this boat together, this ship together. And you as the parent, mom, dad, you're leading the way because the child is still developing cognitively. They're still developing, they're still searching for. And this is the last point that I wanted to make, which is super critical, especially in this age group, this 12, this preteen to young adult age, and their minds are forming. They're like a sponge. And what they're soaking up is information concerning two very critical things. And then I'm going to get right into these three things that I so desperately want you not to say. Okay. They're concerned with independence and identity. Independence and identity. They're trying to figure out, how am I going to do life on my own? It's a natural occurrence. We don't have to trigger it. They don't have to want to do it. It's a natural progression in the human experience. Right around at 12 or 13 or 14-year age, you're starting to figure, hey, man, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? What am I, what is it that I want to do with myself? Right? It may start younger for some, older for some, but it's right around in that space where they start to think about independence, doing life on their own, and identity. Who am I? They may not use those words, they may not articulate it that way, but they're internally asking the question, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What's the purpose of life? How am I going to show up in this world? What's my identity? What's my self concept? What do I believe about myself? Those things are starting to form. And so that's why it's so critical that you understand these three things that you do not want to say in this time frame. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen with you and I'm going to start breaking these down. And I think this is going to be pretty shocking for some of you. All right, let's start off with the first one. All right. Let's get right into it. Number one. Here, let me move this over. Number one. Let's see, present. All right. Do as I say, not as I do. That's the first one. Never tell them that. Do as I say, not as I do. I know in my age, or rather at my age, I came up at a time when that was a popular saying. Just do as I say, not as I do, right? You ask the question, why do I need to do this? Mom or dad might say, or in my case, my grandmother may say, because I said so. I know it sounds like something a parent would say. respect me, respect my house, do what I say. I'm the elder, I'm the older one. I've lived, I'm wise, right? However, whatever story we're telling ourselves a story that says they should listen simply because I say it. Well, don't say that. Don't do as I say, not as I do. No, say by doing. Say by doing. Everything speaks. I don't know if you know this or not, but everything speaks. Your behavior speaks. As they say, I can show you better than I can tell you. Have you ever heard that one? Right? I can show you better than I can tell you. Well, that's true. You can. Your behavior, your actions, they really do speak louder than words. So because you understand that, right? Because you know that, because you've lived long enough to know that what you do, how you show up, the actions that you take, they carry way more weight than what you actually say. Because you can promise me the world, but I'm going to watch your patterns. I'm not going to listen to your promises. I'm going to watch your patterns. What are you doing on a consistent basis? How are you showing up on a consistent basis? So if you want them to do something, don't tell them to do it because you say it. Do it so they can do it. Model it, show it, go first, right? This is such an insult. Do as I say, not as I do. It's a complete neglection, if that's a word, neglection. Well, it neglects, right? The idea of integrity. Why would you want to tell anyone, do what I tell you to do, not because I find it valuable enough to actually do it myself, just because I want you to do it. Now, I know, I get it. I can already hear mom and dad maybe talking back to the screen right now. There are some things that I want my child to do that I ain't got to do. I get that. But here's the larger scope that I'm talking about. Not, for example, you may tell them to take out the trash. And you, as the parent, you're not going to take out the trash because they're old enough to take out the trash. I get that part, right? Not literally, but I want you to open up and expand your scope. What I mean is, don't tell them to do something that they've never seen you do, or that you're not willing to do, or that you're not doing on a consistent basis. Maybe you're not taking out the trash, but maybe you are washing the car. Maybe you are vacuuming the carpet. Maybe you are washing down the window sills. In other words, they see you being responsible. They see you showing up in the home and taking care of business. So when you say to them, I need for you to do something, they have a frame of reference. They have a picture of consistency, a picture of integrity. They can actually relate to what you're saying because they have seen you actually do it. It carries weight. A lot of us as parents, we're struggling with respect. I don't get my child don't respect me. My child don't listen to me. They don't do what I say. Every time I tell them to do something, they give me some back talk. Some of that, and I dare even say a lot of that, is because you're not doing it first. You're not doing it consistently, and you're not leading with that. What I mean by leading with that is that you're showing them how to do it, not only out of your own example or by your own example, but you're literally teaching them how to do it. For example, we can go back to the taking out trash. Hey, I need for you to start taking out the trash. Okay, let me show you how to properly take out the trash. One, because dad's been taking it out. So you already know that it can be done. You already know that it's able to be done. You already see how easy it is to do it. And you already see that I'm a person of integrity and I'm doing it already. But now let me show you how. You take the lid off, you pull the drawstring up, you take it out, you do this, you put this back in, you put the lid back on, and then you walk over here, you open up the garage door, you take it around the corner. You're walking them through, and you're leading with a lesson of responsibility, a lesson of life, a lesson of you're basically letting life lecture, you're letting life lead by the example. So it's like less lecturing and just more living, right? So let's not do as I say, not as I do. No, do it too. They'll respect that. because you respect that. I always tell parents, just act like they're you. Do you respect that? If someone told you to do something and you never see them doing it or know that they're not willing to do it, do you respect that? No. So why do you require them to respect that? Right? Okay. Number two, let's get right into it. Number two, check it out. This one is major, man. This one is major. Go here, join this, do that because it's family tradition. Go here, go to this college. You're putting the pressure. Go to this college. Join this fraternity, sorority. Join this club. Join this thing. Join that thing. Join that sport. Play that sport. Do that thing. Or do that because, listen, it's family tradition. Don't do that. Here's why. They are an individual. They are an individual. Children are born through us, not to us. Many times we think children are our property. Your child is not your property. You've been given responsibility. You've been the vessel through which God has blessed you to have been, the one used to give them life and to give them birth. But it doesn't mean that they're your property, and it doesn't mean that they need to follow the trend. Some of your children, they're going to swim upstream. Everyone else is going to be going downstream. Everyone else will be. But you're going to have one that's going to swim up because they were designed to. Children are a gift of God, a gift of the Creator. We're individuals. We're a part of the collective, but we're individuals. No two people think the same, speak the same, behave the same. Even twins, like even the most twin of all twins, they look identical, born at the same time, got the same height, same hair, same skin, same freckles, same everything, man. DNA top to bottom. But yet their internal life, their internal world, their purpose, the reason that they exist, the reason for their lives, it's going to be unique. It's going to be individualized. It's going to, they're going to go their own way. They've been designed to do things as they've been designed to do it. And when you try to force feed them into the tradition of your family, well, everyone's a doctor, so you need to be a doctor. That's a huge one. In some cultures, and this may offend some people, but there are certain cultures that I've been made aware of that, hey, in this culture, and I know it was started maybe for a good reason, right? Every tradition was created out of necessity. I'm not trying to disrespect tradition. And tradition has value. It certainly has value. Put it in the context. Hear what I'm saying. This is in the context of you forcing or you manipulating or you pushing them to do something that you clearly see they're wanting to go this way. You're saying go to this college, but they want to go to this college over here, but you're saying go to this one because everyone else has. Because you want to keep the bloodline, you want to keep the tradition alive. You're taking no account for who they are as a person, no account for what they were created to do in this world. You're not considering their unique contribution. You're not considering what maybe God's created them to do. And maybe what they were created to do has nothing to do with that college. And if you were to force them, if they were to listen to you to go to that college, they might maybe not miss out on their purpose or miss out on what it was that they were created to do, right? Things tend to kind of, self-correct and course correct. You get around to it. But sometimes we can take a longer path to get there, a longer journey to get there, because we've been forced into spaces and places that we had no business being in. Join this club, join this sport, play this thing. You can clearly see they ain't got the skills for that or the talents or even the big one. They're just simply not interested in it. Mom, dad, don't do that. Don't tell them, don't force them to do things that have nothing to do with their makeup. That's like saying, the boy wants to play chess. has a love for chess, but you want them to play basketball because it's about your ego, because it's about your what's the term for it? You're living vicariously through them. That's unfair, man. That's unfair. That's wrong, man. And again, remember, I started off this whole video by trying to lay a foundation of how important it is for you to understand what you say, because a lot of times they're trying to figure it out, and because you're the loudest voice in the room, they're going to follow it. Sometimes they give in because they're scared of you, or they're just intimidated, or because they don't know no better way, or whatever. Maybe your success is screaming at them. All kinds of factors can play into this, but it is what you say that's going to steer, or at least give them information to consider. And sometimes they're going to make decisions based upon what you said, and it has nothing to do with who they are. So let's not be about our ego and be about our tradition. Rather, let the tradition be, we're a family, we're a home that loves and supports and accepts the journey of every one of our children, even if it goes against what our last name says we all do, or where we all go, or the occupation that we all participate in. All right? It totally demolishes, it totally disrespects, it totally diminishes and devalues their God given design. Again, the child born to you, no, born through you. You were a vessel, it was a gift. And now your responsibility is to nurture the gift, to best prepare the gift, to live their best life, not your best life. Help them to live their best life. And sometimes that means understanding that their best life has nothing to do and will look like nothing, um, or will look nothing like the life that you envisioned for them. All right. And again, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just throwing stuff out there. 4 adult children, 26 years in the game. I got some skin in the game, as one of my dear brothers from church, says. That's his phrase, man. Skin in the game. I've got some skin in the game, y'all. I've gone down these roads, these paths. I've had these conversations. I've had these moments in my life, and so I speak from experience, and I hope and pray that this adds some value. All right, drum roll, please. Here comes, here comes the last one, man. Number 3, and it might shock you. You ready? Here we go. Number 3. Don't tell them this. You can do anything you put your mind to. That's the most famous, encouraging. That's like parenting, encouraging 101. Like that's where parents, I mean, we make our home right there because it sounds so good. It sounds so good, don't it? Right? You just encouraging your child. Oh, honey, you can do anything you put your mind to. Right. And again, our intentions, man, we want to encourage them, build them up. We want them to be mentally strong. We want them to believe in themselves. We want them to have a positive outlook on life, a positive outlook on themselves. Honey, you can do anything you put your mind to. That is a lie. That is a lie. They cannot. They cannot. They just no. They can't. You can't do anything you put your mind to. Why? We're not designed to. We're not designed to. I completely respect the intention, the essence, the heart of that statement, but all of that heart and intention, and it just doesn't make it true. For example, if you were born 3 feet tall, 3 feet tall, um, and you wanted to I don't know. I'm just picking something. Got the Olympics coming up pretty soon. You wanted to compete in the 40-yard or 100-yard hurdles with the other guys, with let's just say Usain Bolt, and I don't know all their names, right? But you kind of get the picture, right? You got guys 6 feet tall, 6'2", crazy wingspan, crazy leg span. I don't even know how you measure that, right? And the hurdles that they're jumping over are already at 4 feet, and you're 3 feet tall. They're they're running like a 40-yard dash in under X amount of seconds, because for every stride their feet take, that's like double your height if you were to lay down. Like they are like, it's like every time they stretch their legs out between one foot and the other foot, it's like 6 feet in between their feet, right? And they're jumping over hurdles that are taller than you. I know I'm going to a very extreme, and this is totally off the cuff, but you're not designed to succeed in that area. You can put your mind to that all you want, and you're never going to compete. They're not going to let you in that race. You're not going to qualify. You're not going to do it. That's just not in the cards. And I know there may be someone out there that's saying, no, anything is possible. Fine. I'm not going to fight you on it. But my point is that there are limitations to our lives, and those limitations are good. Those limitations are good. They're there for a reason. We're not able to do anything that we put our minds to do because we weren't created to do anything. Our lives have a design. We're the way we are because of why we are. And if we tell them that they can do anything, that blanket statement, it sets them up. It can set them up to go after things that have nothing to do with their God-given design, with what they've been best suited for, where they can best succeed. You guys know that I'm really big on assessments, learning who you are, learning what God's given you, learning the skill sets that you have, learning the gifts that you've been equipped with. It gives you clarity and confidence in the occupation or the ministry or the work that you are to involve yourself in, the activities that you are to involve yourselves in. If you are a sumo wrestler, 375 pounds, do you think it's a good idea to run the next Boston Marathon? Is it possible? I guess so. There's always a 1% chance. But if you are a sumo wrestler, if you are built as a sumo wrestler, you come from that background, that's your body type, that's your ethnicity, you are a sumo wrestler, 350 pounds, and they got signups for the Boston Marathon. Are you going to run that Boston Marathon? Probably not. Probably not. We are not built for everything. We're not built to do anything. There are limitations, and limitations are good. The limitations help us, and they protect us, and they help to ensure, when seen in the proper light, they help to ensure that we pursue things according to our God-given design. See, a lot of this, really the essence of everything that I'm sharing, is don't crush the spirit of your child. All three of these, they all go back to the same purpose. And maybe I should have led with that. But it's like, don't crush the spirit of your child. Between the ages of 12 and 21, they are developing a sense of identity and a sense of independence. They're the sponge, they're soaking stuff up. Don't set them up for failure. Don't set them up to have their heart broke. Yes, say encouraging things. Yes, encourage them. Nurture the growth mindset. Yes, say good things to them. I love you. I accept you no matter what. I'm in your corner. I'm with you. You got this. You can do it. Do all of those things. Be their cheerleaders. Grab the pom poms and never put them down. But these are some things that are very key. I was very careful and very specific about what I'm sharing, because these are some underlining ideas and concepts that can later down the line sabotage and really become a conflict for them, and they won't know where that conflict came from. So no, I know it's shocking, but don't tell them that they can do anything that they put their minds to, because sometimes they can get caught up on something, putting their mind to it. It never comes to pass, and they can internalize that because they've not been given the other information that's necessary to process those things properly. And so now they internalize the failure. Now they say, I'm a failure. Mom and dad said I could put my mind to anything, and I put my mind to it, and I tried and I tried and I tried, and I never got accepted. I never got into that thing. They never let me in. I never qualified. I was never approved for that thing. I was never given access to that thing. I was never able to achieve or to attain that thing. Now, with everything that I'm saying, there's always anomalies. With everything that I'm saying is never a universally 100% bulletproof guarantee, because we are all so different. This is speaking to the majority. And I hope that you get the spirit of these messages, not the letter, right? The letter of the law, spirit of the law. Of course, I had to write some statements, but I hope that underneath each statement that you're hearing the spirit of what I'm communicating. So let me just recap. Let me go back. Number one, do as I say, not as I do. That's a lack of integrity, congruency. That doesn't work with this generation. That doesn't work with this generation. They're looking for integrity. They're looking for parents who show up and do first, model first, take it serious, being the example first, before instructing and telling and demanding of their children to do anything. Number two, don't pressure them and push them to that specific college or that specific sport or that specific activity or that specific occupation because everyone else in the family was doing it. In fact, half the people in the family that were doing it, they just got pressured into it. And if you read their heart, it would say, I'm not happy doing this, but I don't know any other way because the family forced me into doing it. And I'm doing it because that's what we've always done. My last name is this, and we always do this. And it has nothing to do with who they are as an individual. And then lastly, you can do anything you put your mind to. No, you cannot. You weren't designed to. Limitations are good. It's okay to be limited. In this context, it's okay to be limited. I know we want to be limitless and have all power and believe, and Christ can do everything, and greater is He that is in me. That is, I get all of that, and that all has its place. But in this context, it's about design. It's about what you're supposed to be doing, and there are limitations in your life that are there as guardrails to protect you and to prod and push you in a particular direction. So follow the limitations, accept the limitations, allow the limitations, because they're actually good for you. All right. Let me stop sharing. Go back here to my studio. All right, guys, that is it, man. I just wanted to share those three things because I think it's so important as we see ourselves as leaders, as parents. Everything comes down to communication, right? Life is communication. Life is relationship. Relationship does not exist without communication. So if there's no communication, there is no relationship, and then there is no life. All right. So the life of your leadership in the home, it comes down to your communication, and that's what's going to build that relationship. So we want to be very uh, mindful, skillful, careful with what we say, especially between these ages 12, that preteen, and 21. And it may go a little further, but I had to put some numbers there, right? Some sort of parameters. But it's right in there where there are where your kids are really building up identity and independence. Who am I? What am I going to do in this world? And what we say in this time frame really helps to shape who they're becoming. All right. So that was it, man. Love you guys, praying for you guys, believing in you guys. Go ahead and wrap it up. Remember, until next time, change is possible. Your change is possible with this practice. God bless you.